Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special record with the Sanderlanche podcast crew. We are just about to finish up Words of Radiance, and I'm going to do, as we've gotten some requests and some people very interested in hearing this, I'm going to do a live read of a specific section of Words of Radiance with the crew so that they can experience it, and you can hear them experience it for the first time. So I don't know if you guys want to leave your mics open so that gasps are audible. I know for Jamie, with a very talkative baby, that might not be what she wants, but we're going to read, this is the very last perspective in chapter 88. So if you just went to the end of chapter 88 and walk back until you see like the little asterisks that indicate a perspective change, that's the part we're going to read. It's kind of completely separate from everything else happening in the chapter, so it shouldn't spoil anything if you haven't read the rest of 88 yet, which is the first chapter that we're going to read in the episode we record next. So it's not that far ahead of where we left off our last episode record.
All right, so straight up, this is an isolated character from the rest of the action. Call it now, Esh and I. Let's go.
That was a prediction that you guys all had last time. So yeah.
To really elicit gasps for me, it's going to be Yasna, right? It's got to be.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what happens. And yeah, like I said, if you guys at any moment that you want to stop and say something, just make me stop because I'm going. Seth opened his eyes.
Yay!
My boy.
Wait,
There you
so
go.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because is this not in the hardback version?
No, it is. It is. This. I'm reading from the same version that had the scene where he actually gets stabbed through the spine. So.
Dude, this doesn't make any sense.
He opened his eyes. There was nothing.
Now I don't know. There were no eyes, only smoke.
Yeah, he opened his eyes. He couldn't see because his eyes were vapor and smoke, but he opened them.
I love that we got into a deep discussion on that this last time about the possibility of Seth being alive because I knew that this was coming. So
Right.
He immediately squeezed them closed again. No, I died. He felt rock beneath him. Blasphemy. He heard water dripping and felt the sun on his face. Why am I not dead? He whispered. The shard blade pierced me. I fell. Why didn't I die? You did die. Seth opened his eyes again. He lay on an empty rock expanse, his clothing a wet mess. The Frostlands? He felt cold, despite the heat of the sun. A man stood before him, wearing a crisp black and silver uniform. He had dark brown skin like a man from the Makabaki region, but he had a pale mark on his right cheek in the shape of a small hooked crescent. He held...
Is that Naz?
Not Naz, no, but it's somebody that we've seen a couple of times killing lists.
He tried to kill Liv. He tried to kill Liv.
The cranky pursuer.
Darkness is what Lift called him, but he held one hand behind his back, while his other hand tucked something away into his coat pocket. A fabrial of some sort? Glowing brightly? I recognize you, Seth realized. I've seen you somewhere before. You have. Seth struggled to rise. He managed to make it to his knees and then knelt back on them. How? He asked. I waited until you crashed to the ground, the man said, until you were broken and mangled, your soul cut through, dead for certain. Then I restored you. Impossible. Not if it is done before the brain dies. Like a drowned man restored to life with the proper ministrations, you could be restored with the right fabrial. If I'd waited seconds longer, of course, it would have been too late. He spoke the words calmly, without emotion. Who are you?
How did he make it to wherever Seth was going to crash land in time? How did he know where Seth was going to crash?
Right? That would be a very narrow window.
What does this guy know?
Oh, the diagram knew exactly where Seth would end up. That would be nuts. Who are you? Seth asked. You spend this long obeying the precepts of your people and religion, yet fail to recognize one of your gods? My gods are the spirits of the stones, Seth whispered. The sun and the stars, not men. Nonsense. Your people revere the spren of stone, but you do not worship them. That crescent. He recognized it, didn't he? You, Seth, the man said, worship order, do you not? You follow the laws of your society to perfection. This attracted me, though I worry that emotion has clouded your ability to discern, your ability to judge. Judgment. Nin, he whispered. The one they call Nalan, or Nail here, Herald of Justice. Nin nodded. Why save me? Seth said. Is my torment not enough? Those words are foolishness, Nin said, unbecoming of one who would study beneath me. I don't want to study, Seth said, curling up on the stone. I want to be dead. Is that it? Truly, that is what you wish most? I will give it to you, if that is your honest desire. Seth squeezed his eyes shut. The screams awaited him in that darkness, the screams of those he'd killed. I was not wrong, he thought. I was never truthless. No, Seth whispered. The Voidbringers have returned. I was right, and my people, they were wrong. You were banished by petty men with no vision. I will teach you the path of one uncorrupted by sentiment. You will bring this back to your people, and you will carry with you justice for the leaders of the Shin. Seth opened his eyes and looked up. I'm not worthy. Nin cocked his head. You? Not worthy? I watched you destroy yourself in the name of order. Watched you obey your personal code when others would have fled or crumbled. Seth, son Naturo, I watched you keep your word with perfection. This is a thing lost to most people. It is the only genuine beauty in the world. I doubt I have ever found a man more worthy of the Skybreakers than you. The Skybreakers? But that was an order of the Knights Radiant. I have destroyed myself, Seth whispered. You did, and you died. Your bond to your blade severed, all ties, both spiritual and physical, undone. You are reborn. Come along. It is time to visit your people. Your training begins immediately. Nin began to walk away, revealing the thing he held behind him was a sheathed sword. You are reborn. Could Seth be reborn? Could he make the screams in the shadows go away? You are a coward, the Radiant had said. The man who owned the winds. A small piece of Seth thought it true. But Nin offered more, something different. Still kneeling, Seth looked up after the man. My people have the other honor blades, and have kept them safe for millennia. If I'm to bring judgment to them, I will face enemies with shards and with power. So, pause. There's where all the other honor blades are, I guess.
This is why
Old
Charavanger was
Shinovar, huh?
concerned where they were being stolen from.
That is not a problem, Nin said, looking back. I have brought a shard blade for you, one that is a perfect match for your task and temperament. He tossed his large sword to the ground. It skidded on the stone and came to rest before Seth. He had not seen a sword with a metal sheath before. And who sheathed a shard blade? And the blade itself, was it black? An inch or so of it had emerged from the sheath.
What?
Slid on the
Oh,
rocks.
Oh, no.
No way.
Seth swore he could see a small trail of black smoke coming off the metal, like storm only dark.
Christ.
Wow.
Hello, a cheerful voice said in his mind. Would you like to destroy some evil today? That's it.
That's in the main
Uh.
chapter?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Dude, he's crossing the streams way earlier than I thought he was gonna.
Right?
Well, that's cool. It also kind of makes sense now that we know that Vasher is here, that Nightblood is also here, I guess.
But like, when did they separate? How did they separate? Why is Vasher
Yeah.
not concerned?
And what does
that's
Nightblood
terrifying.
what does Nightblood feed off of? Can he feed off of Stormlight the same way he feeds off breaths?
It's a good question.
I guess if it's all just a form of investiture.
Yeah, maybe it's a night. Wow, that means Nightblood could be deadly like in any situation. Just soaking up metal and investiture and
Didn't you say once, Data, like he's like the most invested object in
Yeah,
Cosme?
or close to, something like that, Brandon has said, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh my god. Okay.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Right?
We thought Seth was scary before.
Now he has a new friend. So for most of us who read these books, this was the first moment of like crossover between books.
Yeah.
Or the first major one. Obviously, we had like the characters that showed up that you didn't really know their names in Way of Kings. They were just kind of a background thing. This is the first time it was like big in your face. This is crossover.
What, all the various Hoyd appearances don't count?
No, I wouldn't. Like Hoyd is like a special circumstance, right?
Yeah, all right.
But this is for me also as well as a lot of other people. This is like a hugely epic moment where it was like, oh shit, like the worlds really are colliding.
Yeah.
Which is why we had requests to like get live reactions to this. But I'll take the opportunity. I know how much you guys loved in Warbreaker all of the information that we got that wasn't on the page but came from other sources, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So here's some more for you. Brandon has said that in some ways you can look at Warbreaker as like a prequel to the Stormlight Archive.
Hmm.
And he's also told us that basically Vasher and his wife Shashara, they visited Roshar sometime in the past and they saw shard blades and were like, those are awesome. Maybe we can make something like that. And that is the genesis of their idea to create Nightblood.
Ah, okay.
We sought to create an invested blade. Things went horribly right.
Yeah, I mean,
It worked too well.
and became quite deadly.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
makes me
okay.
think of the robot Santa from Futurama all over again, you know?
Oh my gosh, it is Robot Santa.
He is Robot Santa.
Yeah, Nightblood is Robot Santa. The only difference is he has to be wielded by somebody.
And like Santa's out to get the naughty, Nightblood wants to destroy evil. Like it's the same thing basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna hear like Seth running into Shinovar holding Nightblood aloft, and Nightblood's gonna yell, "Time to get jolly on your naughty asses!"
Yeah. So
I'd
just
be okay with that.
imagine, just imagine John Goodman or John DiMaggio's voice, whichever version of Robot Santa you prefer, as the voice of Nightblood.
I mean, it's hard to beat John Goodman. You gotta admit, but
Yeah, but he only did it one time. I think
He just
John
did it the one
DiMaggio-
time,
Just the once, yeah.
Did it like 2 or 3 times.
I think DiMaggio did a good, like, not
Goodman
copy,
impression.
but yeah, it's like follow up.
DiMaggio's pretty much always good.
Yeah,
I don't know that I've seen him when he played the Joker in the one Batman movie. I think I was like, okay, this is weird.
Oh yeah, like the
Wasn't
Joker
bad,
with
though.
the yeah.
No, it wasn't bad. It was just it felt weird to me. Maybe it's just because
Did
I know
feel
him from
weird.
the other stuff, and he's not Mark Hamill, and Mark Hamill has usually done it up till now, so maybe that's part of it. But
Yeah.
so yes, that is our you guys were probably not expecting Seth to return quite so soon after dying horribly, but there we go.
No,
Nope.
No.
not at all.
I was thinking maybe halfway through the next book, but I was not prepared for.
Yeah.
Oof.
And as I predicted in that episode that for us we just recorded the episode, but as I predicted in the episode after we thought he died, if I did think he was going to come back, I thought it was going to be, like I said, as a tertiary character in another crossover-y type thing. Technically, I guess I'm right. This is a crossover event that
That's
he
true.
is involved in, but it is on Roshar, which I said it would not be. So
And given the context of this, I think tertiary is probably the worst possible description.
no, it sounds like he's
Yeah.
he's still a main antagonist, which is a little surprising, honestly.
And it even seems that he is being recruited into an order of Knights Radiant. So at least that's what the indicator is here. So
Yeah, I don't get it, but
I
okay.
mean, a different, like, will Nightblood act as his blade, or does he get his own, like, he gets an honor blade as well? Like, yeah, I've got to see how that plays out.
That's true, because Nightblood doesn't give you powers.
No.
So yeah,
I can just
that's
imagine he's got a shard blade and and
Yeah.
Nightblood. Oof.
and like you're basically dual wielding swords, one in Nightblood in one hand, the shard blade in the other.
I mean, those living blades
Mhm.
can become like shields or whatever, apparently. So you could go
Yeah.
like sword and shield if you want.
Yeah,
I guess.
the last thing
but
you want to do is like dual wield swords, and like the shard blade cuts one, and Nightblade starts going, "Hey, that was mine."
Yeah,
They start
Well,
fighting.
but that couldn't be an honor blade because the honor blades can't change, right? It's only the spren blades that can change.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
true.
he doesn't have a spren blade. He's never had a spren blade.
But if he becomes a Knight Radiant,
And if
then
he
he
gets
may
a
have
spren
to have a
blade, he
spren
has-
to get there. Yeah.
Well, unless it's like
So you
You
have
know,
to swear on oath.
negative Knight Radiant. It's like they aren't really Knights Radiants. They're just calling themselves that.
So, on to that point, there was that epigraph we just read from the diagrams. Like there were like one of them is a traitor. It could mean not necessarily a person, but one of the orders.
Oh.
Mm.
So
Because this guy Nail.
Nail, Nin, Nalan, yeah.
All I hear is Guru just going no.
Guru.
Yes, Lord Guru.
Can't unhear
But,
that now.
Yeah, but
I see a bird. It is pretty. kick its ass.
But like his whole thing that we've seen him is just going around killing other like people with Spren. So like if it, he's just the order of we will be the only order, we must destroy all the others. So we're killing anyone who's bonded to a Spren because that's a potential shard blade that could be used against us. Like
maybe he's trying to maybe he's trying to reestablish like heralds with all the honor blades.
What did he call? What did he say to Seth? It's like you could be a Skybreaker, was it?
Yep, Skybreaker.
Badass name that.
So
yeah, that's his order.
We have heard about the Skybreakers a couple times in the book, and I'll touch on them real quick. So one of them was in one of the quotes, one of the epigraphs that came from the in-world book Words of Radiance. It says, Nalan Ilin betook himself to finally accept the Skybreakers, who had named him their master, when initially he had spurned their advances, and in his own interests, refused to countenance that which he deemed a pursuit of vanity and annoyance. This was the last of the heralds to admit to such patronage. So
this guy is Nalan. That's got to be the same guy.
Yeah,
that's
Herald of Justice, apparently. So this is one of the 10 heralds.
Oh, he's still alive.
Yep.
So he's gone from I don't want this order to we're bringing it back, baby.
And there's another section where it says that the Windrunners showed up and they found the Skybreakers in that place, dividing the innocent from the guilty. And then in the following epigraph after that, it was like, and this is a skill that everyone admitted they had, even though it wasn't like a surge or a magical power. They were just like had an ability for dividing the innocent from the guilty.
Okay, so Skybreakers may not be like the way that makes it sound is like any Radiant could go to the order of Skybreaker if they were of a mind to. At least that's the way I read that. It's like you could be anything, but then also be a Skybreaker.
Maybe. It says, so it had the dividing innocent from the guilty, and then the next one says, the considerable abilities of the Skybreakers for making such amounted to an almost divine skill, for which no specific surge or spren grants capacity. But, however the order came to such an aptitude, the fact of it was real and acknowledged even by their rivals. Oh, also, there's a bit where Kaladin's like, I'll find my own justice, thinking about Amaram, and Syl goes, you're not a Skybreaker, Kaladin. You're not supposed to be like this.
Yeah, apparently all of them can do it, so.
So, there you go. We've got Seth getting recruited by a herald to join an order of Knights Radiant. We've got our good friend, our favorite buddy, Nightblood, showing back up.
He's a good dude, that Nightblood. He's crazy as they come.
I added it to my current D&D campaign. I found a good D&D stat block for him, and it's been fun. But yeah, so there you go. Audience, I hope you enjoyed this live read. It ended up being like 10 to 15 minutes. So I don't know if it's going to justify like its own episode or an extra on the Patreon or what, but we'll do something with it.
Make them work for it. Put it on the Patreon.
And we will have to touch on this again next week because we're going to be reading this chapter next week. But I thought that I would try to give the folks what they asked for in this case. So there we go. Thank you guys for hanging out and reacting for them to the live reveals. I hope you guys had fun.
Oh no.
Well, and there were some like, called it. Seth's alive. Like the first line of the thing. Oh, but thank you everybody for listening. And wasn't to the time of next, I guess.